appreciate you for diving in here on a Saturday edition. What's up, Miss PC in the chat early? Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Send us out to the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate that. Liking, sharing, all that good stuff. Super chats are always open. Memberships are always open. So make sure you guys crack up that shit. Beat that all up. Get that going. We truly appreciate it. Yeah, there's other ways to support our work also, so you can dive into the channel membership page or the bio and find those things out. So we're going to dive in. Why not Mason Rudolph? Why are we all, well, not maybe all of us, but why are the Steelers continuing to overlook this guy? It just does not make sense. It does not make sense. You can't make any type of real splash moves inside of the draft. You're putting all your hope into a really bringing Aaron Rodgers in. Well, not even putting your hope into it, but you're leaning into it. You want it to happen. So why? Why does it make sense to continue to overlook a guy that fate brought back to your organization? Sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good, I propose. Sometimes that's just the way it works out. Things in this universe work out for a reason, and Mason Rudolph now brought back to the Pittsburgh Steelers on a very cheap deal, 2 years. A guy that really won games when it mattered most, guys. Let's realize that, too. When Mason Rudolph was last in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform, he won games, and games that were significant games. And I think we all forget that all of a sudden. Mason Rudolph won games that were highly, highly competitive, that everything mattered. The chips were all down. The Steelers were all in, man. They had no more room for error. They couldn't lose a hand. But guess what? They had the shark out there, Mason Rudolph, who stood tall in the pocket, delivered the football, and won games when it mattered. Guys, we got to let that sink in. That cannot continually be overlooked. And why are the Steelers so blind to that? Why do they refuse to realize that? Why is that something they're just brushing under the rug? When you watch Mitchell Trubisky struggle, but yet you continue to put him back in. Even after Kenny Pickett had to come out, you still went with Mitchell Trubisky. You watched him struggle. You allowed Mason to sit on the bench. Then Mason comes in, saves your season after Kenny and Mitch went on a losing streak. The Steelers reeling, didn't know what they were going to do. They had nothing left in the tank, but here comes Mason. He saves the team. He saves the 2023 season. Yeah, he did. Mason did. And that's going to be overlooked by a franchise that's been starving for a franchise quarterback since the departure of Ben Roethlisberger, and maybe you had one right under your nose all this time. And even after Mason put on a display, ranking in the top 5 of the NFL quarterbacks during that time period, the Steelers were unwilling to bring him back. Didn't even give the guy a contract offer. Didn't even try to retain him. Maybe that's where Kenny Pickett came in and you said to yourself, we're going to try to go with him. But yet you went out there and got Russell Wilson. You brought him in to be a competitor against Kenny Pickett. Why? I don't understand this, guys. And maybe Mike Tomlin is just so stubborn and so egotistical and so crazy that he doesn't want to admit that he was wrong with Mason Rudolph, that he doesn't want to say, guys, I dropped the ball on this one. This guy's got what it takes. We're going to let him get a real shot at this. We're going to give him a real chance. We're not going to try to constantly have him looking over his shoulder. We're not going to constantly try to disrupt what he's doing. We're going to allow him to play. We're going to give him a chance because I was wrong. But I'm going to give him that chance to see if I was truly right or wrong, and I'm going to let it really go here. Guys, you can't give Mike Tomlin a pass on this. And Mason Rudolph, for all the people out there that want to talk so much crap about Mason Rudolph and act like he's not some ball player, guys, you're not giving him a fair shake. And he never got a fair shake in the city of Pittsburgh. And I don't care what anybody says, he never did. He's the only guy that ever lost his job to injuries in reality. Think about that. Mike Tomlin never lets guys lose their jobs to injuries, but Mason Rudolph lost his job to an injury, correct? Did he not? I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend. I'm just saying, guys, this has to be talked about. We're going to dive into that tonight here on Steel City Live. Last night I took a little night off. I just wasn't feeling it. So here we are. We give you that extra show, though, here on a Saturday to equal it all out. So, again, guys, double tap that screen. Send us out into the YouTube algorithm. What's up, Bono? What's up, Za? Yeah, man, I'm trying to get one going here. What's up, JD? What's up, Boxing Men? Mason does not suck, man. I don't know what you guys are watching. I don't know what you're watching. Let's go over some of Mason Rudolph's stats here since, once it comes up. As soon as it'll come up here. But anyway, I got it loading. It's twirling over here. I got a ton of things running. But we're going to go over Mason's stats. They should come up here in 1 second. I don't know why it's like blacked out. But anyway, we'll go over them here in a second. But when they come up. We'll go over Mason's stats, guys. For a guy, Mason is not a franchise quarterback. Stop it. Nobody said Mason was a franchise quarterback. So why are we not needing to talk about it? When you're looking for a guy to bridge you into the next generation of quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, when you're going to try to continue to go into draft, I'm not saying you don't go into the draft and try to get somebody. I never said Mason was a franchise quarterback. Those words never came out of my mouth. But why don't you give him a chance? Why has he not been given a chance? Why are we going to overlook that he was a top 5 quarterback in the NFL during that stretch in 2023? With the same team, basically, that Russ played with, basically. I mean, not very much different. Oh, wait. Yeah, there was one difference. He was playing with a Matt Canada fucking offense. There's the difference. There's the difference. I mean, but Matt Canada was only bad and Mason was bad because he played in that system, but yet was a top 5 quarterback inside of that system and really shined. I don't make it make sense for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here. How can you, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, bury Mason Rudolph onto the 3rd string of the depth chart? How do you do it? Did Kenny Pickett put up the numbers Mason Rudolph put up? No. Did Mitchell Trubisky? We all know that. No. Guys, what am I missing here? What am I missing? Bubby Brister, yeah, he sucked. He wasn't that great. He had a big arm. I like Bubby, though. Just the personality of Bubby Brister. I'll give you that. The lunatics are running the asylum. I might could say that another one, but yeah, maybe down in Pittsburgh, maybe down in the building, you're right. I'm not missing a brain. I'm just talking facts, man. I'm not saying Mason's the answer for a lifetime, man. I'm not. You're trying to spin a narrative that you're trying to create in your head. You're trying to make it make sense in your head that I'm trying to say something that I'm not. You still take swings in the draft, guys. You still go out there and you make big moves in the draft to try to get a young guy in here. But why do you go and pay an old man a bunch of money? Make that make sense. You're going to win 10 games with Aaron Rodgers and you're going to win 10 games with Mason Rudolph. That's where you're probably going to be. How do you overlook what he did? And I don't want to hear about what he did down in Tennessee. Guys, the team was absolutely horrible. And if you don't believe me, believe Ramon Foster, a guy that played a bunch of years in the NFL. All pro. Believe his assessment when he tells you that Mason was one of the few bright spots on that football team. Believe that. Believe him, a guy that played at the NFL level, that knows way more than all of us, knows way more than you, knows way more than I. But we won't listen to him, right? We'll disregard that. A guy that played in the NFL. I'm just saying, guys, I'm not trying to sway you one way or another. I'm not trying to say that Mason's this or that. I'm just saying that if you're the Steelers and the 2026 draft is approaching, and there's some bigger names in that draft, but yet again here in 2025, there's a chance also to gain a young guy. The best guy in this draft, and I'm sorry, I've been watching the tape, and I'm talking whole games, not just highlight tapes, guys, like most of the people watch. Not just that. I'm talking whole games of one Tyler Shuck. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, guys. Well, not even a limb, because I know it to be true. Tyler Shuck is the most pro-ready quarterback in the 2025 draft. I can guarantee it, and I'll say it, and I'll say it again. Tyler Shuck is a guy that you could probably get. Oh, wait, all of a sudden, all these so-called experts are starting to become real high on Tyler Shuck, aren't they? Why? Because they know he has consistency. They know he understands defenses at a complex level. The guy's been in college for a long time. Yeah, he has. Why? He's had some bad luck injuries, not ligament injuries and things like that can nag you for years and years. He had some bone injuries. Those are bad luck injuries, guys. Bad luck, wrong place, wrong time injuries. These ligament injuries can be genetics. They can be just, troublesome. Once they happen, they can be troublesome for a long time. Bone injuries, not typically that. You break a bone, it heals up, you go back out. Tyler Shuck is the most pro-ready passer inside of this NFL draft, and you can not like it because it's not the big name that the big box media has forced down your throats. I get that. You can not like what I'm saying. But I know how to watch football tape. I know how to watch football. I know what wins at the NFL level. I know. I can see it. It's not rocket science. And I listen to the people that actually can tell you what wins at the NFL level. People like I just brought up, Ramon Foster, telling you what you need to do and what needs to happen at the NFL level. Guys like Merrill Hodge that played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a friend of the show here that's been on this show. Tells you what you need to be able to do at the quarterback position in order to be successful. Tyler Shuck does all those things. And he's not a running back at the quarterback position. He's a guy that can make all the throws. He's a guy that can read defense. He's a guy that is mature. A guy that's not coming into the league at 22 years old, still trying to sow his wild oats. This guy is a mature specimen. And I don't want to hear about his age because even if he comes into the league and plays 10 or 12 years, he's still 36 years old. And you got quarterbacks that you're trying to court right now that are 40-some years old. Make that make sense. I don't want to hear the age because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, he might not be as athletic as these other guys. I don't care. I don't want him to run the football every fucking play. I don't want him to do that. I don't want that to be the case. I want a guy that can throw the football from the pocket. Would I take Shedeur Sanders? Absolutely, because I don't think he's a running style quarterback either. He's a young man that can stand in the pocket and take a beating and keep on ticking and make all the throws. Shedeur isn't a bad option, but you don't jeopardize the farm for Shedeur here in 2025 either. Because if you're the Steelers, you're in an ideal situation right now. You are. You have Mason Rudolph brought back to you by fate. A guy that competed at an extremely high level. Why not allow him to be your bridge quarterback for next to nothing and continue to build this roster up in a major, major way? You go out there, you pay TJ Watt. Quit trying to fuck around figuring out how you're going to pay Aaron Rodgers when you can pay your superstar that's in the building that's been here for 8 years, that is a tried and true, real, in my head, a guy that should be a champion. A guy that has deserved it, a guy that works hard. Keep him in the building. He's a leader. You pay the man. And let's be honest. TJ Watt wants $40 million plus. He wants more than Myles Garrett. Why? Because he's better than Myles Garrett. And we'll bring that up later in the show because maybe some proposed trades. But guys, if you are the Steelers, you were in an ideal situation. You were in a situation that you can allow Mason Rudolph to be the bridge guy from now until you find your young talent. Guys, it doesn't always have to be what the big media wants to spin at you. You don't have to regurgitate what they say. You can be a free thinker. You can think for yourself at what makes sense. On this show, we're not here to hype up anybody's draft capital. We're not here to hype up any sponsorship deals or anything. We're here to tell you the truth. And the truth is that you have some quarterbacks in this draft that are being overlooked, and all of a sudden you're starting to hear some things about them. And you have a quarterback on your roster that can get it done. You go out there and you make a move. If Shador Sanders is there at 21, great. Grab him. I would get him. I love Shador. Love Shador. But my eye is on the real prize, and that is Tyler Shuck, a guy that I believe that you can get somewhere else inside of the draft. Maybe you have to figure out how you make a piece happen to be move a piece in order to gain a second-round pick to get him. Maybe that is the thing. Maybe that's the case. I don't know, but maybe. Let's get into the chat here. Let's catch up in some of the chat here on Steel City Live. Double tap that screen. I'm your host, Jason. Again, hitting that like button is absolutely imperative. We need it done during the show. Don't wait till you leave. Double tap it now. Send us out into that algorithm. Also, share the show. It's absolutely a good way to help us, man. You don't always have to give money or things like that to help support the show. You can simply like and share. And do those types of things. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are really a good place to come to have a solid conversation, man. Daniel Warman, I believe he beat Cincy multiple times. I agree. He's a great guy off the field and a quality player on the field. I love that guy. Thanks, Jason. Good to see you, Daniel. Mason is not a franchise quarterback. Stop it. And yeah, nobody said that. What's up, TD? Tire tread throwing the balls, whatever that means. TD, what's up? He lost his job to Duck. Cut it. He's the only one, boxing men one, that lost his job to an injury. He was playing really, really well. Za Curry coming in with some gifted memberships. Thanks, Za. Za gifts 5. Mike, drop Mafia memberships. Deadman, the Key Man, M Sparks, and RB getting some memberships. Steelers Nation, what's up, Mark? Getting some memberships gifted to them. So, congratulations. Thank you, Zod. Appreciate that. As we are almost up to 100 paid memberships here on the channel, we want to get that up to 1,000. That's our goal. 1,000 members. That's our goal for 2025 here. And I think we can do that. That is an excellent way to support the channel. It's always 99 cents a month. Only will ever be 99 cents a month. And that provides a steady revenue stream into the channel that allows us to do some things. Also, guys, if anybody knows anybody that's a reliable person that does like productions for shows and things, we are at that point here on the show that we are ready to make a move and get somebody in here. I got a couple calls out to some people. I'm waiting to try to I need to find somebody that's very reliable, somebody that's trustworthy, not like a scammer or something like that. I need to find somebody that I can actually get on the phone with, talk to, somebody that knows, you know, that person or something or another, that can actually really, really, really take up Mic Drop Sports to that next level. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we've been waiting to get to, that 5,000 subscriber mark. We're just about there, so we are ready to do it. You guys, I need your help finding somebody to be a producer for this show. So I'm not looking for somebody to come on the show and be part of the show. I'm looking for somebody to just be a producer, just be able to run our shows, edit our shows, and things of that nature. So if you know anybody, micdropsports@yahoo.com. Let's keep going. micdropsports@yahoo.com. All right, let's get back into the chat here after I handled some business there. Jamal, what's up? LOL, man, you're too hung up on Mason. LOL, he was our third string quarterback. He doesn't suck, but he is mediocre. Can't not like Tomlin for it and praise Mason for the same thing. I'm not praising Mason for the same thing because it's two different things, Jamal. Respectfully disagree with your comment there because Mason won despite being put on the back burner constantly by Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's never given him a fair shake. Again, he is the only player that has ever lost a job under Mike Tomlin due to injury. Everybody else gets their job back when they come back from an injury. Mason was never playing bad enough to lose his job at any time. That's not the case, guys. He wasn't lighting the scoreboard up at times, but he was still a young guy learning at those times that's never got a real chance, that's never got a long stretch of games to get those things under their belt. There's guys like Peyton Manning in this league that their first year was absolutely horrendous, but he got to play all the games. He got to do all those things. Guys need experience, and Mason just took a little bit longer to gather that experience. But what he did in 2023 came out and lit everybody up. He played really, really well. He had the Steelers within 7 points in that playoff game. I'm just saying, guys, these aren't made up things by Jason. This is something that has actually definitely been proven. He's proven it, man. So, hey, we'll see what happens. Sorry, guys. I'm still trying to get these stats up here 1 second. I don't know why my computer's acting stupid tonight, but we'll get to them. We'll let it go through there a couple more times. Lucas Van Dyke, Mason Rudolph had a chance to beat the Bills in the playoffs where he had no business being. Yeah, late in the game, he was down 7 points. That's not a bullshit thing. That's not made up. That was truth. That was reality. And with a defense that wasn't playing its best football, that was getting run all over, but Mason Rudolph was still keeping them in that game. Yeah, he had a mistake. But the offense, every time they were driving, what'd they do? Fumble the football, and he still, despite all the mistakes that were in the game, they were still in it, guys. We can't forget these things is all I'm saying. And again, I'm not saying Mason's a franchise quarterback. I'm not. I'm saying Mason Rudolph is a guy that can be an excellent bridge quarterback that can maintain the mediocre Mike standard of 10 wins. He can maintain that standard of just being good enough, of just being 500. He can definitely maintain that without the exuberant salary of a guy on the wrong side of 40. It doesn't make sense, guys. And you got your players, your cornerstone pieces of your franchise that are starting to get frustrated with it. You want to know why TJ Watt's frustrated? Is because they're sitting around waiting on Aaron Rodgers, willing to pay him, a big check. They're willing to do that. Then they bring in DK Metcalf, pay him $33 million easily, which is a good move. I love it. But TJ Watt's sitting there waiting on a contract, being the best defensive player in football. Make that make sense, guys. Then you wonder where the disruption's coming from. The Steelers got to get shit together. If you don't want TJ on the roster, you go ahead and trade him off. But the quarterback situation, guys, this is the point of what I was saying there. The quarterback situation is starting to cause distension inside of that building, and the season hasn't even started yet, guys. Do you think these veterans that have never won a playoff game, do you think they want to come into minicamp without a real solidified answer at the quarterback spot, the most important position on the team? Do you think that gives them comfort that they're about to win a championship or that they have a chance to win a championship? The answer's no, guys. The answer's no. Doug P. Mason is a baller. Like I said, he gives me Bubby Brister vibes, and that's a good thing. Zucker, young bucks, only stat watching the people they like. Yeah, young fans are all about statistics. They don't look into everything, and that's okay. That's just what they look at. And I'm not dogging them for it, but you got to look at all the intangibles. You got to look at some of the things that aren't written down on paper, too. That does matter. Some of those things matter, like Mason being loved in that building by everybody in that locker room. Everybody that's a veteran in that locker room that played alongside Mason Rudolph has nothing but great things to say about that man. And can we discount that? No. And we'll all sit here as fans and say he sucks and he's terrible, he's horrible. Come on, guys. All right, my friends, double tap that screen, hit that like button for us. Let's get this show out into that YouTube algorithm. We truly appreciate you sticking with us here on Steel City Live. Like, share, subscribe to the show. We truly appreciate it. If you have any comments, questions, whatever you don't want to put in the chat, MikeDropSports@yahoo.com. You can make sure you can send us an email there. And again, guys, thank you. We appreciate it. Super chats are always open. Memberships are 99 cents a month. We want to push those memberships. We are almost 100 paid members, man. That is absolutely awesome. So let's get that moving here. Mark Malone in the house. If Mason starts game one, he throws for 4,200 yards and 35 TDs this year. I mean, it's not impossible. I can't argue it. Gunja B, Pat McAfee's show was lit in Pittsburgh. Oh, did you get to go, Gunja? That's awesome. We read that one from another Wombat. Mason was good. That's from Lucas. Your all caps show. Low IQ. He almost beat the Bills in the playoffs with Matt Canada. Yeah, Matt Canada wasn't there, guys. He was let go, but it was still a Matt Canada system because you're not when Matt Canada was fired, there was no way possible to absolutely strip the system and rebuild a new system inside of that building that late in the year. There was just no way to do it. So the Matt Canada system was still in play for whatever that means, you know. Jackson Starr, the people who won't give Mason a chance have no problem putting up with another washed up 42-year-old quarterback. Steelers are toast this year no matter what happens. I don't know. I don't think that that's the case. I think the Steelers have a really good roster. And I think that roster, coupled with an experienced veteran like Mason Rudolph that knows how to win meaningful football games, that has demonstrated that to the franchise, should be getting a legitimate chance. Can he really win us 10 games? I think so, Jamal. I think so. All right, guys, I'm going to have to try to bring up Mason's stats one more time because, again, my computer was going haywire, man. I don't know why. There we go. Awesome. Got him back up here. All right, guys, Mason Rudolph, let's go over his 2023 statistics. He played in 4 games, guys, in 2023. This is his last appearance as a Pittsburgh Steeler. 4 games. A QBR of 118. 55 completions to 70 on 74 attempts, guys. That's a 74, almost a 75% completion ratio. Do you guys get that? Almost a 75% completion ratio. And threw for almost 1,000 yards, 719 yards. Averaged 200 yards a game. And he averaged almost 10 yards an attempt at 9.7, guys. 3 touchdowns. And he got sacked 6 times. That tells you something, too, doesn't it? Doesn't it? But yet the Steelers were winning, right? Even though he was getting sacked at a high rate. Every game he's getting sacked. Every game. Picking himself up off the canvas. But yet they were winning games, they were putting up points, and Mason Rudolph had excellent numbers with a QBR of 118 and a completion percentage of 75%, damn near 74.3. Guys, is that bad? Playing for Tennessee, one of the worst teams in the NFL, guys. He played in 8 games for probably the worst team, one of the worst teams in the NFL. He had a QBR of 80. He had 146 completions to 228 attempts. 64% completion rate, guys. Still in the 60s with completion rate. Threw for 1,500 yards. Averaged damn near 200 yards a game. Still up around 6.7 yards per attempt. He had 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, but if you listen to Ramon Foster, a lot of those interceptions were tipped balls from the receivers, and that isn't per se on the quarterback. But also, he was sacked 11 times in those 8 games, losing 71 yards in that time frame, guys. Mason Rudolph, throughout his career, is a 63.7% completion rate guy. He's also, at times, been really, really good, guys. He's thrown 20 touchdowns. In 2019, when he actually got, 28 touchdowns, I'm sorry. In 2019, when he played 10 games, his most games that he played, he still threw 13 touchdown passes, which is at a higher rate than any other quarterback that has played for the Pittsburgh Steelers since Big Ben Roethlisberger. Mason Rudolph has put up the best numbers out of anybody, guys. Out of anybody. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky. He's put up better numbers than all of them. Duck Hodges, all of them, guys. I'm just saying. Just saying. Another Wallbat, better off running Mason for the season and taking a QB in the 3rd. Let the guys sit. If they go after Sanders or sign Rodgers, it's pointless. I'm all for the let Money Mason cook, baby. Let him go. I'm all for that. And if you get a quarterback, a young guy, there's nothing wrong with them sitting in for a year, guys. Nothing. Whether it's Shedeur Sanders, whether it's a Jackson Dart, whether it's a Tyler Shuck, whether it's a Will Howard. It doesn't matter who it is. Letting them sit is cool. It does not matter. Let's keep going. I'm just looking at the stats, Jamal. You know me, man. I ain't trying to feed you no bullshit. Another Wombat says there are no ready starters except for Cam Ward. I think the only real true ready starter in this draft is Tyler Shuck. That's just me. I've watched all the tape on him, guys. Cam Ward, I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I don't think he's going to be a bad quarterback, but I think the most pro-ready quarterback at this stage of their careers right now, out of all these quarterbacks in the 2025 draft, that is Tyler Shuck, guys. His anticipation. Guys, this isn't college football. When you're watching these highlight tapes, I want you to take a couple things that I'm saying here, and I want you to watch them the next time you're watching some of these. And don't watch highlight tapes. Find whole games. That's what you need to find. Games to where you can see consistency, you can see completions and what kind of a rate they're completing footballs at. You can see their rhythm, their timing, and look at some of the other things that are very, very important here, guys. Anticipation. Being able to anticipate a receiver, where they're going to be. Look at how they are able to recognize defenses. Look at the defenses they're going up against. Are they complex? How are they set up? What are they bringing at that quarterback? Also, look too. I don't give a shit if the quarterback's playing against McDonald's University and, they're not giving up any pressure. And then you go and put that highlight tape out for everybody to see. Yeah, great, dude. You had no pressure on you. Nothing. It was like practice. I want to see you against some decent competition. I'm not saying it needs to be the best in the world, but some decent competition here and there. I want to see quality defensive sets against you. I want to see how you stand in the pocket. Do you have those happy feet that everybody talked about that Mason Rudolph had before the 2023 season, but yet praised him? Steelers Nation, far and away, everybody in the world that was a Steelers fan, what were they praising Mason Rudolph for when he came back in 2023? The happy feet were gone. The pocket presence. You're looking for that, guys. Watch Mason's tape from 2023. That will show you steady pocket presence. There's no happy feet there. That's what you're looking for, guys. When people are under pressure, do they have those happy feet? Are they anxious inside of the pocket? Or are they able to be able to take the pressure, still be able to keep their eyes down the field, still be able to anticipate receivers, still trust in the receiving core to be able to put up some 50-50 balls and understand where you can put those 50-50 balls up on the football field? There are a lot of things that you need to take into consideration. So trust me, watch whole game tapes and look at their accuracy. How many balls do you see thrown into dirt before you, or over somebody's head before you see that one amazing play that you see? 1 out of 20, 1 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? That's what and I'm not saying anybody's wrong with your assessment. I'm just saying what I look for and what I think you should look for that maybe would change some of your perspectives on some of these quarterbacks inside of this draft. And then you take the quarterbacks that you watch, all of these guys in this draft. You take all that tape that you watched on them and you take your opinion that you gained on them. And then you sit there and you say to yourself, okay, let's compare each guy. That's why you do what, guys? Notes. That's what I got. Notes on these guys. So that's what you got to do. He didn't win much in Tennessee, Jamal. He had probably one of the league's worst teams, and that matters. And listen to Ramon Foster. He'll tell you that same thing. You don't have to trust me on that, bro. Shedeur Sanders is a great quarterback, guys. I've seen somebody say wrong. Sanders is great. I think Shedeur's going to have a great career, guys. I really do. And let me tell you some of the things I love about Shedeur that I think that he does, that Mason does kind of the same thing. Mason and Shedeur, both strong-arm quarterbacks. Shedeur, Mason, they don't have that happy feet in the pocket. They're calm, cool, and collected. They can deal with the pressure. They can still deliver the football. Both of them do that really, really well. Another thing I love about Shedeur is his work ethic, that he always wants to be in the building. He always wants to be around his teammates. He always wants to be working at his craft. Another thing I love about Shedeur is his extreme football IQ, his intelligence and his understanding of defensive schemes. He understands the complexity of the defense, and that's what you're looking for, guys. If it isn't Shedeur Sanders, it has to be Tyler Shuck. If it isn't Tyler Shuck, it has to be Shedeur Sanders. Those are the two options that are actually viable in this draft for somebody to take that isn't picking inside of the top 5. And I'm not dogging Cam Ward because, again, I think Cam Ward could be a really exceptional ball player. But I told you who was going to be the best quarterback out of that draft last year, and people told me I was wrong. I told you Jaden Daniels was going to be the best quarterback out of that class, and he absolutely was. He won his head-to-head with Caleb Williams, and he was in the playoffs, and he beat the Detroit Lions. Best quarterback out of the 2024 draft, i.e. Jaden Daniels, right there. There's your example. I told you who it was going to be, and I used the exact same process of watching these guys that I'm doing this year, guys. I'm telling you now. It's all about how comfortable you are in the pocket, all about your anticipation, because the NFL isn't college, guys. Guys aren't running wide open all over the place. This isn't high school football. This isn't college football. This is the NFL. Everybody's good. Everybody's fast. You got to be able to anticipate where those receivers are going to be. You got to be able to throw people open, guys. That is a big, big key. That is a big key. And again, I'm eliminating Aaron Rodgers out of this conversation, guys, because honestly, it doesn't make any difference, guys. The only difference is you're causing disruption in your locker room waiting for him, and you're going to pay him a boatload of money when you don't got to. You don't have to. Because guess what? Nobody else wants Aaron fucking Rodgers. Nobody. Why go out there and pay his price? Why go out there and go and agree with all his terms? You don't have to, guys. You don't. A lot of people are looking at the name of Aaron Rodgers. That's what you're looking at. You're not looking at the financial responsibility, the potential locker room disruption. You're not looking at any of those things. You're looking at his name, and that's why you want him instead of Mason Rudolph. Super chat coming in. Super chats, guys, are always open here on Mic Drop Sports. We appreciate you. Also, you can donate memberships. We appreciate the donated memberships. We had donated memberships earlier. So make sure that you do that if you want to. They're 99 cents a month. Steeler Lee coming in with a super chat here on Steel City Live. Tomlin loves his pedigree guys. Don't be surprised if he chases Sanders. He may be, man, and he does love pedigree guys. He loves that, Steeler Lee. You're absolutely right. He loves brothers inside of the NFL. If you have a sibling in the NFL, he loves to do that. That's something he loves to do. He definitely loves the name on the back of the jersey. He loves pedigree guys, legacy guys, per se. He definitely does, and Steeler Lee is exactly right. And that does give Shedeur Sanders something maybe that gives him a little chip in the Mike Tomlin category, a check mark in that box. But also, guys, I got to tell you this. They've met with Shedeur Sanders twice now. I know a lot of you have only heard of the one meeting that just happened where he came into the city of Pittsburgh for a meeting. However, they met in a formal setting at the Combine with Shedeur Sanders also. So they have had two meetings with Shedeur Sanders. They have also met with Jackson Dart. They have also met with one Tyler Shuck, whom I believe is the best quarterback in this draft in terms of a passer, in terms of a pure NFL passer, and is the most NFL ready. That's just my opinion, guys. Let's keep going. Thank you again, Steeler Lee, for the super chat. Guys, those are always open. You can drop them. Your comment will be instantly read. You will get priority with that. We truly appreciate that. Let's keep going here. Shaking my head. Yeah, the only reason to run with Mason is if we want the number one pick in 2026. If you run with Mason, Jamal, to be real honest, you're not going to get the number one pick. He's going to win 10 games, man. Mason is that guy. And a lot of people can sit here again and doubt him, and that's fine. I'm going to just let you see what happens if he plays. That's all I can do because I'm not going to be able to sway anybody, nor am I trying to. I'm just trying to present the truth to everybody. Mark Malone, Ward, Sanders, and Milroe are all busts. That's from Mark Malone. Mark Malone should know, guys. He's a quarterback from the NFL. Mark Malone, Pittsburgh Steelers own. Right there, Mark Malone. Mark Malone, Shucker, Howard are the dudes this year. I like them, man. I like them too, Mark. Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. That's from Jamal. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Sanders can pass really good and run when he needs to. True. And that's what you're looking for, guys. Guys that can keep their eyes down the field. That's what you want. You don't want somebody that's taking off all the time. Guys, if you're watching a highlight tape, here's another thing that you need to do when you're watching these highlight tapes. If you're getting wowed because they take off and run 10 times and score against Burger U 90-yard touchdown run or something, if that's what you're like, we need to draft that guy at quarterback. If that's your deciding factor, you got a lot going on in there, man, up here, and you need to fizzle some of the fuzz out of your head. Let's keep going. Another Wombat. They're going to take a quarterback in the first, I think. That's from another Wombat. Maybe another Wombat. I don't know if that's the right move. I think it just is really, truly dependent on what happens and who is available at that time frame when they pick. But I can say this, guys, defensive line has to be a priority. And I'm not saying that because the Steelers' defensive line was horrible last year. I'm saying that because depth at defensive line wins championships. Ask the Philadelphia Eagles. They'll tell you. They'll tell you exactly how imperative that was for them to win a championship in 2024. Did you just say superstar? Are you talking about Mason? I think Mason can be a potential superstar in this league if given the opportunity. He's not right now, no. TJ is a playoff flop. TJ Watt is a playoff flop. He can't win games by himself, guys, when you don't got no offense. Sorry, Boxing Men 1. I mean, TJ Watt's the best defender in the NFL, and he shows up, man. He shows up every week. He puts himself in a position to win. Look at the Steelers' record without TJ Watt. That'll tell you a lot about TJ Watt. But TJ Watt, he can't win a playoff game from defensive end or the outside linebacker position by himself and win playoff games. It's not going to happen, guys. It's not one of those positions that can control a football game like that. Plus, they don't scheme him up very well, and plus his stubbornness not to move around. We'll get to that here in a minute, man. I want to talk about that TJ Watt stuff. TJ Watt trade. What a lot of people are potentially saying about TJ Watt and the possibility of trading him. We can dive back into the Mason Rudolph talk. We've talked about it here for about the first 40 minutes, really. So we could dive back into that if we need to, but I need you guys to double tap that screen, hit that like button. We need to get up to 100 likes. That's what we always try to chase here on Steel City Live. Let's keep going with that. And again, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the donated mic drop mafia memberships. That is absolutely so very important. Anybody else want to donate memberships, you are welcome to. Those are 99 cents a month. Always will be 99 cents a month. Mr. Football looks to be a Tennessee Volunteers fan. Bro, let's go. Steelers, here we go. Steelers, here we go. Doug P. I'd take Dart. I think he gives you a good, accurate arm, a guy who can extend plays without panicking if his first choice isn't there and take off running. Yeah, and I agree with Doug. You want a guy that can do that. But you don't want a guy just when their first choice isn't there to take off and run. You want what Doug says, extend plays, but you need to extend that play and get through your reads. You need to get through. In the NFL, you're going to have 3 to 4 reads every play in the pass game, typically. You're going to have that third read at least. Usually you're going to get 3 reads at the NFL level, but you got to be really quick and precise with it, and you got to be able to anticipate also. So yeah, you could typically get 3 reads. We'll say 3 reads each play. You got to be able to get through those. You need to get through that first one, and hopefully you have enough time to get through that second one. And if you got to extend the play, your eyes got to be downfield because now it's backyard football. And hopefully you have enough reps with your wide receivers that we can see what Ben Roethlisberger used to do. Play backyard football with those receivers where they would break off their routes, and Ben was smart enough and kept his eyes down the field long enough to be able to see some of those things develop and play that backyard brand of football. That's what you want from your quarterback, a guy that is a precision passer from the pocket, but yet can extend plays if need be, keep his eyes down the field, and hopefully make some of those magical splash plays that Mike Tomlin always talks about, but yet gets a very small amount of them that happen on game day. He's not an 8 for sure in his career. Boxman, what's up, Edward? Ian Berg, Bryson DeChambeau is the GOAT golfer. He must have won, or he must be leading the Masters. Jamal McCollum, y'all complained about Mike T and mediocrity, but it's okay for Mason. Shaking my head, I wonder why. That's not it here, Jamal. You know that, brother. Mike Drop Sports don't do that race bait card, man. So you know that. Don't play that one with me, bro. I always love your comments, Jamal. I do, man. But we ain't doing the race thing. That's not what we're here to do. Race has nothing into this conversation. It means nothing. Mike T's mediocrity is Mike T's mediocrity. It's over an 18-year time frame. That is what it is. That stands on its own. Mason's mediocrity in his record has a lot of factors in it also, but that is his record and he has to own it also. But what I'm looking at is Mason really didn't get a real time to develop. That's what I'm talking about. That's the difference. Mason didn't get that time. His time to develop was chopped up, broken up into pieces. But when he was finally able to get everything put together, when he came in, he lit the NFL on fire, guys. He had a 118 QBR. He threw for several touchdowns. George Pickens had his best game of his young career behind the arm of Mason Rudolph. Mason was able to keep them in games that absolutely mattered. He had a completion ratio that was absolutely insane at almost 75%. I mean, guys, these aren't things that we just overlook. Again, race has nothing to do with that. And Mason has been centered around that Myles Garrett bullshit. Because his own teammates, like guys like Marquise Pouncey, guys that are men of color and of high character, said that Mason would never do that, and they didn't hear him say shit, and they stood behind their guy. They stood behind two. They didn't throw two under the bus. They stood behind their guy, and Mason wouldn't have did that, considering Mason's a man of God and a man of faith. That's not what Mason's about. That's why I say let's not do that here. We don't do that. It has no bearing. I know you are, Jamal. I just wanted to get that out for everybody that doesn't understand our conversations, because other people might be outsiders looking in, never have been here before. I don't think you're that way. Again, I always enjoy your comments. I love your points you bring up. I love your comments all the time coming in the chat. But I just want to make sure everybody is clear here that we never do that here. That is something that bothers me. It bothers me badly, deeply. I hate it. That's one thing, though, that I just want people to understand. Mark Malone, Ward, Sanders, and Milroe will only be decent college quarterbacks. Howard and Shuck will be good pros. Yeah, it could be. Another Wombat. Sanders is a bust. He played no one in college. He played a couple teams. You're right. He could be. He potentially could be another Wombat. Your assessment could be right. We won't know until he gets there. No doubt about it. And that's another thing, guys, that we have to take into consideration with the draft. When another Wombat brings that up, all these guys are gambles. We can all have our assessments. We can all think we know what we're looking at, myself included. I'm not excluded from this. I have really high hopes about Tyler Shuck. I think he's a really, really excellent ball player. I think he's a guy that translates well. But I could be dead wrong about that, And that's the exciting thing about the draft. It's the gift and the curse about the draft, guys. They're all gambles. They're all lottery picks. They're all like buying a lottery ticket. That's just the facts. There's very few slam dunks, very, very few. And again, I know everybody thinks like if you come to a show like this that I'm going to know all 300 and some guys that are entering the NFL draft. I'm going to know all their stats. I'm going to know everything about them. I'm going to be able to give you an accurate assessment about every one of them. But truth be told, nobody can do that does this podcast game or any of this stuff that talk football. Nobody knows everybody. I'm no different. So again, we look at some of the people that catch our eye. We really try to study them. We try to figure out what that player could translate to in the NFL. But yet there could be a guy that we didn't get to see, that we didn't get to break down, that we didn't get to study fully, that comes into the fold, drafted deep into the draft, that, I didn't get a chance, or whoever, that team that's drafting didn't get a chance to really fully explore all their abilities, but yet they take that lottery ticket on them. They draft them, they call their number, they bring them into the franchise, and they end up being one of the franchise's best players that they ever had. And that happens. That happens often, guys. So, this is a gamble. This is a big gamble, and I cannot wait for the draft to be over. I hate draft time. I hate talking about the draft. I hate the draft period because, again, it's all luck. It's all gambling. It's all just sheer out there on a whim, man. And it's not anything that's a real exact science. It's just not. That's why I hate the draft. I like to talk about players that I've seen play at the NFL level, that I know what's going on with. I can give you real thorough examinations and accurate assessments of what they do. McCord will be a sleeper pick. That's from another Wombat. No doubt, man. No doubt he could be. Let's keep going. Those are the gifted memberships I was going through there. Mark Malone. Oh, he's talking to Jamal. Steelers Nation Australia up in here. Yeah, Mark's a cool guy. I see Mark. I got to stop over at Mark's and check him out. I haven't got the chance to do that lately. I got to check you out, Mark. Also, if you're still out there, man, you email me, Mark, if you want to have any time to come on and give us your draft stuff. You're welcome to also. Yeah, always, bro. Invitation's always open. Magic Johnson, do you watch baseball? I used to be a heavy baseball guys, heavy baseball fan. I used to watch a ton of baseball. My family and we used to go to a ton of games. If you walked into my house at 7:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Buccos were on the TV every day, all the time, man. We went to the first playoff game in over 20 years for the Pirates. We were there, the game where Johnny Cueto dropped the ball and we were all chanting Cueto. I was there for that game, the blackout game against Cincinnati. So yeah, I was there. I used to be a huge baseball fan, but the Pirates really deterred me from that by their lack of spending, their lack of competitiveness, and their inability and unwillingness to produce a good quality team and blame it on economics and money, and that's really troublesome to me. I really became bothered by it. I think baseball would really benefit from a salary cap and make every team competitive again and really bring the fire back into baseball. But there's a select handful of teams usually that are really good, and you have those wild card teams that save up for years, and then they spend it all on 1 year, or they get lucky with a lot of prospects or something, and they're good for a year or two, and then they fade back away into baseball hell. But yet you still have that handful of 5 teams that are always really competitive. I don't like that. That doesn't excite me. I like baseball, but it's got to have some sort of control with its financial obligations to the players. And until they do that, I think the league is just going to be lack parity, man. I think it's just going to be a league of very stale, same teams winning, same people getting paid, same teams doing the paying. Sean Downey, why not? Mason Rudolph won 3 straight. Wilson lost 5 straight. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I like that, Sean. Sean, that was a good one, man, that you brought up. Edward, do you have a business email we can reach out to? Yes, MikeDropSports@yahoo.com. If you ever have show ideas that you would like to see covered, any types of questions you would like to ask me, but not in this format, you're always welcome to throw an email in. Give me a day or two to respond, because sometimes they go into my junk email on there, and I have to check that periodically to make sure somebody's email didn't go in there. So make sure that you just give me a day or two, and I'll get to the email. And definitely anything you would like to talk about, please do. Again, guys, I am looking for a producer, somebody to bring on to the show as an employee of the show. So if anybody knows a company or knows of people that do that type of stuff that you can vouch for, please email me and get me in connection with them, because I am looking for somebody to take Mike Drop Sports into that next stratosphere. We are ready for that. We're almost to that 5,000 subscriber mark. We're in that like weird wonky spot, but the time for doing shows here on the Shorts live feeds and things of that nature are coming to an end. We're about to go full-fledged professional, hopefully here really, really soon. Get our real set times all the time for our shows and all that good shit. And yeah, we're going to continue to work hard for you, but that takes you guys giving us the help that you do, hitting that like button, sharing the show, getting the memberships for 99 cents a month. One of the cheapest memberships you can find out there, 99 cents a month. And again, super chats and things of that are always available. And there's other ways to support our channel that you can donate in our bio. The key man at Mike Drop Sports. I'm a Caps fan. How far do you think the Caps will make it in the playoffs? The Caps always got a chance when you got Alexander Ovechkin. Alexander Ovechkin. You always have a chance, man. You always have a real legit chance to do it all, to win it all. So I haven't been watching hockey as much, so I can't give you an accurate assessment of that. But again, when you got Ovi, you got a chance, man. Mason wouldn't have lost those 5 games too. Maybe he would have, maybe he wouldn't. I mean, we don't know. I can't give you an answer on that one, Jamal. Pickett lost his job due to injury. Yes, you could say he did, but the season ended where Mike Tomlin was saying that he wasn't fully ready to go. That was kind of how it ended, and he was just getting healthy again as the season ended, supposedly. So I mean, I guess you could say that happened too. Yeah, I can agree with it, and then I can like think of weird ways why it wouldn't be also. But yes, definitely another Wombat. We could probably classify him into that category too. All right, guys, I'm going to go down here. If I missed your chat, let me know. You can put it back in. Another Wombat says Mason beat the 29-32 defense, then beat Baltimore backups, then got creamed in the wild card. He's not that good. I say roll with him this season. LOL. He didn't get creamed in the playoff game, guys. He was down 7 late in the game. The defense got creamed in that game. The offense was doing what it had to do, except for some of the mistakes. If they wouldn't have shot themselves in the foot with some of those fumbles, one by George Pickens, one by Pat Freiermuth, those fumbles really hurt. The interception by Mason Rudolph, those things don't happen. I don't know if that game's the same outcome, to be real. But he did what he had to do, because the Steelers, they were playing bad football before Mason Rudolph came in there, guys. They were getting beat by teams that had 2 wins, and getting spanked. Patriots, Cardinals, Colts, loss after loss after loss. And Mason Rudolph, regardless of the 29th or 32nd defense or whatever, the Ravens still had a bunch of their starters out there. The weather conditions were absolutely horrible, which is a total equalizer for anybody. But Mason Rudolph still found a way to get it done, hitting a nice pass to Deontay Johnson that went to the house. So we can't overlook those things. And again, Mason did it. He got the job done. In the NFL, everybody's good, so we'll give him that. But yes, I can give you the 29th and 32 also. So, yeah, there's a lot of variables at play, definitely. 2023, Mason gave us a chance and hope. That's from TD. Guarantee you Rudy will take that experience into the playoffs to heart. Yeah, that experience in the playoffs to heart. Absolutely. Mason Rudolph is a super intelligent guy. And everything that he's been through in this league, he will remember and definitely be able to put that onto the football field. Let me get a drink, guys. I went almost an hour without taking a sip of water. Another Wombat says the real issue is still that the Steelers can't develop a quarterback. So far, no. And Mike Tomlin, guys, all Mike Tomlin cared about for the majority of his career was what? The defense. That's all he cared about. And he had Ben Roethlisberger, a seasoned Super Bowl winning quarterback, that he just let Ben do what Ben did. That's it. Mike Tomlin didn't care about that offense and Ben Roethlisberger. He had Ben to lean on. He knew 7 would get it done late in the game. But that was a mistake of Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin needs to be an overseer of everything, but a micromanager of nothing. And that's Mike Tomlin's problem, guys. He lets his ego get in the way, and he puts his thumb on things sometimes when he should just leave it alone and allow his coordinators to coordinate and allow his units to develop organically and not try to force the hand. Let's keep going. Jeff Fowler, TJ is always hurt in the playoffs. He's played in 2 playoff games. True. You deal holes are in for a surprise. We're going to score like a mofo with Mason at the hell. Oh, shit. Wave those terrible towels and get those emojis out, guys. Get yourself a membership. The emojis are about to get updated, man. We're going to put some new ones out there because we got guys like Najee and stuff. I'm going to wait till after the draft. That way we can put some of the rookies in there, make it fun too. So we'll get that all done here and change some of those emoji around for the Mic Drop Mafia members to have. Armand Perone in the house. I don't think con artists should give away a bushel of draft picks in 2026 for a crapshoot quarterback. Build a team with ton of low-cost picks. A diamond in the rough will appear. Mason, OK State, watch clips. Hey, man, Mason, a marksman throwing the ball and guts. I'd have taken Minshew and Mason in the bag, the crapshoot for quarterback. Kurt Knight, Rams house. Rams suck. Another Wombat. I just want Mason so that Tomlin gets fired. Then we get some badass quarterback and then go on a new tear and make a dime. I'd love that, another Wombat. I'd love that. I'll give you that one. Mark Malone, it's going to be way different with both DK and GP. Absolutely, man. Guys, you don't realize what a tremendous asset that you have in that wide receiver room. It went from a position grouping of weakness to a position grouping of extreme strength, of a position grouping that ranks up there with some of the best in the NFL, if not the top three in the NFL in terms of wide receiver duos. George Pickens and DK Metcalf are going to be absolutely phenomenal playing together, guys. I have to remind you of that. And all you really need is an average to good quarterback play, and you're going to be able to do some really exciting things under center for the Pittsburgh Steelers with that dynamic duo. Because we're also discounting guys that are going to be running wild, running wide open. Guys like Pat Freiermuth. Guys like Darnell Washington. May we forget that we have a couple of the best tight ends, I believe, that haven't really been given a ton of opportunity, that can play at a high level, that have shown glimpses of it, but just haven't been able to get it done playing with a 5'2" quarterback last season, not being able to get over the middle of the field for the majority of it. But that's neither here nor there. It is what it is. But you have Pat, you have Darnell, you have guys like CA3 who has just gotten better every time he steps onto the football field. His football IQ increases, and his ability to just be a quality contributor increases also. So CA3 is a guy that cannot be discounted. He is going to take another leap. You have the potential of Roman Wilson really taking a big step next season in 2025. There's that potential there. You have a guy like Scoots, like Scotty Miller, that's still on the roster, that's a wily veteran that can come in due to injury and really be able to contribute at a high level because he's a wily veteran and understands the game. You have a lot there, guys. You have a lot that you can make some big things happen with. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are poised, in my opinion, roster-wise, to do some really good things. They just have to fill that quarterback spot with a solidified starter, and that can be Mason Rudolph, and I don't see why it shouldn't be. Delete Tennessee Titans stats for Mason. I won't delete them, Armand, but, we'll give him an asterisk. Daniel Werman, that false accusation by Myles Garrett damaged his career. Garrett should have been kicked out of the football. I'll take him on my team anytime. Yeah, I don't like the fake accusation shit, man. If somebody said something, they said it, but don't make up stories, man. Don't make up stories. All right, guys, we need you to double tap that screen. Some people need to light that like button up. We've been lacking in the likes department lately. We need to get those likes up. It's absolutely free. All you got to do is double tap that screen. Send us out into that YouTube algorithm. Invite more people into this community. We truly, truly appreciate it. Since Benjamin, because Ben Roethlisberger, we won't do that. We do care about winning. I care about winning. That's the only thing that matters, Jamal. It's all love, man. I agree, Jamal. We don't always agree, and that's the good part about it. No doubt about it. I respect your opinions. Guys, if I disagree with you, I want to say this too, and this isn't at Jamal. This is just a general statement. If I make a statement back responding to your comment, I'm not arguing with anybody. I'm just giving you my opinion, and we're not sitting here like talking back and forth. So you're getting to hear my voice and my inflection and my voice and things of that nature. So it's like kind of a one-sided conversation. You're just getting to hear it after you ask the question. And no means, do I think like Jason's the only person that's right. No. I'm just giving you my opinion. That's all. And I appreciate all of you guys giving me your opinion. Later, another Wombat. We'll see you, man. All right, guys, I got to go down a little bit. Steeler Lee, we did that. What's up, Rob Lightfoot? Sanders is very accurate. He can read defenses, and he will put his face in the fan. Alicia, I'm all for Mason Rudolph starting. Been saying it for years. Doug P., it doesn't matter who is behind center if Tomlin starts to interject and it spells doom. Yeah, the conservative nature of the offense has to go away, guys. That's something we've talked about at great length here on Mic Drop Sports, and that is a major hindrance of the Pittsburgh Steelers over the years, and that is Mike Tomlin and his micromanaging. And that's what I said, guys. Mike Tomlin needs to be an overseer, but a micromanager of nothing. He needs to allow his coordinators to coordinate and put trust in them. He can't interject and be like some dictator. That's not how it goes. He has to make sure everybody's doing their job, make sure the schematics are up to his standard in terms of game plan and execution, definitely. But you can't micromanage it. You got to allow them to do their jobs. You make sure that your plan, your overall game plan, is interjected into those guys and allow them to execute it, and you become the overseer. That's how you got to be as a head coach. All right, guys, I want to talk about this, too. You hear a lot of people talking about a proposed trade for TJ Watt. What's up, Tom Ford, Steve Carpenter? Good to see you guys. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody up in here in the chat. All right. I'm trying to do as many comments as I can, guys. If I miss it, you can put it back in there. No doubt about it. But there's a proposed trade, a ton of them now that the TJ Watt thing has snowballed here. Many people were saying trade TJ now. One proposed trade was to get the 8th pick in the NFL draft. I believe it's the 8th pick in the NFL draft by trading to the Carolina Panthers, swapping first-round picks with them, giving them TJ Watt, drafting a guy like Shedeur Sanders, and gaining a 2nd or 3rd round pick from Carolina either this year or down the line. That's what they say for TJ Watt. That's one of the proposed trades. Another one is trade him to the Dallas Cowboys, pick swap in the 1st round, get Dak Prescott. Dallas gets TJ Watt, and the Steelers get a 3rd round pick in 2026. Those are some of the proposed trades that I've heard. I don't foresee any of them happening, guys. Don't hit the panic button. The Steelers will pay TJ Watt, and they will get a deal done with TJ Watt. Now, things could change. We'll see. But I really, truly don't see that happening right now. And according to some people that I've talked to, TJ Watt wants over $40 million. He wants to make more than Myles Garrett, period. That's supposedly what's really going on there contract-wise. But TJ Watt is really becoming disgruntled with this quarterback situation also, guys. A lot of people from inside of that building talking about, how TJ Watt is starting to really become nervous and really discouraged with the way that this quarterback situation is being handled and the lack of playoff success throughout his 8 years as a Pittsburgh Steeler. And what all has happened this offseason starting to really, I believe, weigh on TJ Watt. I believe him to be a one-hat guy, but these are things that we can't overlook, my friends, and they could all come into play here. And TJ Watt could easily be moved for a king's ransom. People will pay it. But here's the thing, for any team gaining TJ Watt, not only are you trading away some significant draft capital to do so, and possibly a player, but you're also trading and signing up for a $40+ million a year payday for a guy like TJ Watt that is now going into year 9 of his NFL career. That has had some concerning injuries, that maybe some may say his best days are behind him. But if you talk to people in the building, they talk about how TJ Watt prepares, how he takes care of his body, how he is a pro's pro. So maybe he has several years that's still being really, really good. So nobody knows. Again, guys, we take all these variables. All right, my friends, we're going to start wrapping it up here, man. We've been going for a long time. We've been going for 70 minutes, man. So let's wrap it up. I didn't realize how long we've been going. So thank you very, very much for joining us. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you haven't hit the like button, make sure you do that also on your way out. Maybe we'll be back tomorrow. We'll see. If not, we'll see you on Monday. So thank you, guys. Appreciate you. And thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching Mic Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason. Peace, my friends.